Okay, so today we have our first presenter of the day. Let's welcome Alagumenal.
Wait, sorry, I have, let me, okay, let me start my video just, okay. Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me well?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, okay, let me minimize this. Okay, is the slides being obstructed by this thing?
Oh, you go to view, full screen. View,
Okay.
full screen mode.
All right. Okay. Is it still being obstructed by this?
Oh, it looks okay.
Okay, it's visible, right? Okay. Very good afternoon, everyone. I hope that all of you had your lunch. And my name is Alagumenal, and I'm very happy that I'm able to present for today's business idea. As seen in the screen, my business idea is health West meets East. Healthy fusion isn't expensive. So that's the whole idea. So by looking at the screen itself, you know it's going to be about food. And if I'm making anyone hungry, I'm really sorry. But let's move on to the next one. So those Malaysians here, have you ever encountered these kind of like problems in your day-to-day life? Like if you want to eat healthy food, do you find it very luxury and it's not cost effective for daily consumption? And do you find healthy foods are always bland and tasteless? And you're tired of poke bowls and buddha bowls, which are really bland, I don't know, or not so flavorful for everyday eating? And do you feel like you're having the repetitive cuisine all over again? And if you want to like do tasting of like interesting tasting food, but you find it's very expensive. And finally, do you find it an issue of controlling your portion or modifying your preset menu? If you're facing all these issues, then I have a solution for you. But before moving to the solution, let's talk about our target market. So there are 32 million people in Malaysia and 8.6 in Klang Valley alone. And the target market size, that maximum that we could reach for this business model is 2.15 million. And these people are basically 22 to 40 years old working adults in Klang Valley, are growing health conscious, and they don't have time to prepare healthy food, and they are still looking for cost-effective, healthy options. So this did not come out of the air. It came from GrabFood's food trend report of 2020 and 2021. It said that 7 out of 10 Malaysians want to eat healthier, and 44%, that's almost half, are willing to pay more for healthier food. And additionally, the healthy food order tripled in the year 2020 compared to the previous year. So now I'm going to address the problem. But then there are 44 people who wants to pay more, right? I want to make them pay less. They shouldn't be paying more. So that's our business model about. So it's more about the retailer model, then followed by e-commerce in the future as an expansion. So the first things first, we'll be doing a recipe curation. So I'll be conducting the healthy fusion recipes. This is like mix and match. This is where the West gets to meet the East. And then this is by the highly skilled chef. So once they come up with like almost 15 types of like healthy recipes, we will ensure that we will maintain this for consistency and perfection. This will include a balanced diet of vegetables, meats, and carbs, and we will be sourcing for suppliers who can supply us with the raw material. Then followed by setting up the restaurant. So the restaurant is going to be a very small space in Kuala Lumpur city center with 4 to 5 staffs and 2 chefs to help and a helper. And we are going to purchase like second-hand food equipment, not the new one. And then minimal renovation will be done and a simple interior designing so that we don't go overboard on the capital expenditure. Then it's mainly on self-service for dinings and then prioritize on takeaways and delivery. So the revenue stream, how we are going to get the money. So it's not like any other business for healthy food. Actually, we are going to incorporate the economy rice and mixed rice concept. So those are in Malaysia and Singapore will be very well known about this concept. So you go into like a pool of vegetables and meats being displayed there. You just take whatever you want and then you will pay accordingly. So you can see the picture. So that's how the variety are laid out during lunch hours. So we'll go for example, 1 scoop of meat is $4, and then 1 scoop of vegetable $2, and carbs and etc. And then the payment mode is as usual, cash, card, or the QR code e-wallet method that which all the small businesses are doing. So we are going for high volume target rather than a larger margin. So in terms of like sustaining this business or scaling this business, we will work on our data analysis, which is basically whatever data we have, we will analyze which is the best and which is the worst, and then we curate our recipe again. In the future, we'll work on our marketing and promotion, and then we will also partner up with kitchens and cloud kitchens or franchise and control the OpEx costs. So you'll be wondering what kind of food we are going to serve. So here are the sample recipes, like for example, cilantro infused rice, Malay vermicelli Alfredo pasta. These are the carb side. And then if you go into the meat side, it's a tandoori chicken with lettuce wrap instead of tortilla wraps. And then the garam masala spice, baked fish, and all that. So these are our competitors: 8-grain, Salad Italia Go Clean, Diet Monster, and Natural Healthy Veggie Food. So we are very competitive, and our best core competency is our flexible option, which is all the economy rice has. So our core strategy is location, freshly made food, curated menu, pricing. So as I told you about the expansion strategy, is a food delivery, digital platform, data analysis, and cloud kitchen. So we are looking for 120,000 ringgit in fund for 30% equity for marketing, promotion, equipment, procurement, space rental, and etc. So this is our financial projection for 3 years. We are looking at 300,000 revenue in the third year, and then that's a 42% on return. So the founding team is me, and my co-founder is Almelu. We are into food, and we really like exploring new food. And thank you. When West decide to meet the East, healthy fusion isn't expensive. Thank you.
Thank you, Alagumenal.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Open for Q&A from the judges, yeah?
Okay, sure. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Yeah, so just
Okay.
maybe I can get started. So just
Okay.
understand a little bit in terms considering your background of what you've done previously. Why the food industry?
Oh, my family is into restaurant business for 40 years.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and also, so if you look at the competition in this particular space, right? So a lot of them opt out of, say, cloud kitchens, and that helps them minimize their cost. So what is the roadmap going forward for you in terms of your expansion, and how are you able to scale, keeping the prices at the low?
Yeah, so basically the reason I want to start it as a restaurant is basically make known. Word of mouth travels faster than all this promotion and all that, because the options are large. So we are targeting like a working class people who want to eat healthy food. So it's easy. So if you notice all the mixed rice economy food in Malaysia, they have no names, but they get like famous, and then they get their volume because people just walk by and see and all that. But then when there is like, we are offering healthy options, it will travel by its own, the food speaks for itself rather than the marketing tools or the promotion. Because if you, for example, if you open an app or your phone, there's only can be a limited number of apps in your phone. So what makes you like different from other people to have your app or the delivery method in the phone is it's a long way to go. So we are starting in this way. So we are establishing our food restaurant's name first, and then from then on, we will scale into restaurants. The reason we are scaling into restaurants is because we are giving them both options. They can eat at the place, at the same time, it can operate as a cloud kitchen because we are not focusing on interior designing or so. So the outlook of the space is not our problem at all. So we just need extra tables and chairs, and we still need all the chef, the helper, and the cashier to even manage cloud kitchens. So I feel like the location is very important. At the same time, that we are not going to spend more on the outlook of the restaurants or whatsoever. So it can operate as two models actually. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I have a few questions from my perspective. First of all, I'll go, well done on presenting. It's a good first. Lots of questions, but I'll focus on the more, I say, key questions to kind of figure out whether this business model is viable, at least from an investor perspective. So on, first thinking about it, it seems more like an SME rather than a very scaled startup. And I think you can completely understand that. Because day one is going to be a restaurant.
Mm.
Fine, you can operate with grab food, but it's still at the end of the day going to be a restaurant.
Mhm.
I think you went through the site really quickly, but are you or your co-founder chefs?
We do home-based. We do like recipes, like home-based. Yeah.
Okay. Will either of you be the chefs for this, or do you envisage being the chefs?
No, we will hire someone because we don't know how to do it in a larger scale actually. So we can give an idea, but larger scale, yes, it requires a certain scale.
Okay. Because in the first step with this is that when you hire a chef, and let's just say it takes off, someone's going to steal them away. So it becomes quite difficult. You don't have a barrier to entry. So it's very important to think about that. But okay, it's good for me to understand that. In terms of location, have you had to think about it? Is it a more populated area, office space?
Yeah.
Okay, because
It's gonna be chaos. Yeah.
okay, because those are the people who can probably afford the food. Because price point wise, day one you may be quite expensive. No matter how you try and control costs, I think it will be quite expensive. But let's just say I walk into your store. How much do you think I'd spend on a meal? This ballpark.
On average, 12. Yeah, that's the target. 12.
Okay,
I mean, like it's a balanced diet. Like 12 is on the higher side. If you take like two dishes, that would be below 10. Yeah.
Okay, all right. That sounds actually very affordable. I'm just looking for numbers again to make sure that it's a viable business model. Because healthy food is expensive, and you won't be doing huge volumes as of when you start.
Yeah.
So you'll be burning cash. Do you have a target break-even point over, for example, first year, second year?
First year, actually, because we are gonna. The location of the place that I have in mind was previously actually a food place, and there are a lot of food places nearby. So when you open like a new restaurant, a new concept, the traction will be always that. So the returning customer are the most important one over here. So I'm looking at less than a year.
Okay, and how much do you expect to burn in terms of capital, meaning losses?
Losses. Okay.
A lot of detail, but just ballpark.
I'm ready to take in about like 20% losses. Actually, that's before we break even. Yeah.
Okay, so 20%. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your first year revenue, you were assuming 100,000, was it?
First year revenue was let me check the slides. I think it's 180,000. 180,000 in revenue.
All right. Okay, there's a few more things to think about, but from my perspective at this stage, no real further questions. I think just general feedback is that it sounds more like an SME right now.
Okay.
There are people all over the world who started like this, and it's become very scalable. So you have to think about scalability for investment. Okay. Because otherwise, SME for investors, the returns may not be that attractive. Yeah, keep all of that in mind. Yeah, that's it for me for now.
Okay, all right.
Okay, judges, time's up for Q&A. Cynthia, we can move to, thank you, Ashwin and Alagumenal.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right, so the next participant, I'll be sharing the screen. So Siva, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Cynthia, we might need access to update the scoring sheet, yeah?
Yes, I'm checking it now. You are at editor, Tataga?
Yeah, I'm not able to edit it.
Okay, okay. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Tataga, I will PM you, okay?
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So shall I start?
Okay, you ready to start?
Yes.
It was you can do full screen, yeah. Sorry, you do not have to do full screen. Go to view, yeah, full screen mode. Yeah. Correct. Okay.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you all for this opportunity. So before I go on explaining about my product and the brand itself, I would like to give you all a little briefing on how this idea came about. Can we go to the next slide? Do you all know that consumers in Malaysia, actually, even after knowing that there are harmful ingredients in cosmetics, commercial cosmetics, including lip balms like parabens and petroleum, they still choose to opt to get those. And have you all ever wondered why? Because there might be different reasons and there are individual differences as well. But the first evident point would be the price point. Because the only clean vegan lip balm is priced at 114 in Malaysia, which is nearly 8% of the minimum wage in Malaysia. Whereas the non-vegan lip balms range from the price of 28 itself. And on the other end of the spectrum, we have a large population of women in Malaysia that do not buy any new cosmetic product without knowing anything regarding the ingredients. Can we go to the next slide? Meaning in general, no, the earlier slide, sorry. Meaning in general, our consumers are seeking safer alternatives when it comes to lip products. They do not want any products with harmful chemicals. And also there's an increasing awareness about veganism. So there's shifting inclination toward vegan products, but only vegan products that are reasonably priced. And that is when Gargi comes into place. Gargi Beauty, our mission is to be part of the clean vegan beauty revolution, where clean vegan beauty is the only acceptable form and norm of beauty. And the vision would be to be a new generation beauty brand in which all the products are inclusive, clean, and vegan. That would be our commitment. And going to the next slide, you can see a mock-up of Gargi lip balms. One would be clear and one would be tinted. Meaning Gargi lip balms are made up of clean vegan bases, oils, coloring, and flavoring agents. For example, clean when it comes to listing of the product ingredients, meaning we will be listing all the ingredients and the scientific benefits, and that would be the sample of it. And it will also have vegan bases. For example, in commercial lip balms, beeswax would be used, and we will instead be using sunflower wax or rose wax, which has more benefits, for example, vitamin A, D, and E, which will give more moisture. And at Gargi, we believe that the simpler, the better it is, meaning lip care doesn't have to be complicated. Because in commercial lip balms, the cosmetic appeal is given more priority, meaning they add a lot of extra ingredients just to make it more attractive. Yeah, and Gargi is targeted at females aged 18 till 40, and it's made suitable for all skin tones. For example, fair, medium, and dusky, meaning a lot of tints will be provided, and that is where the inclusiveness comes in. And the market size for lip balm is also growing, since there's a growing awareness in the importance of lip routine, and also they are more aware of lip discoloration and premature aging and so on. And Gargi lip balm will be priced at 25 and the cost would be 15. And the next slide, what makes us different would be a few factors. First is the formulation transparency. As I stated previously, there'll be listing of every single ingredient and the scientific benefits. And there'll be also very few ingredients included. It's also very affordable compared to all the commercial lip balms. And it will also have eco-friendly packaging, which means the packaging will be biodegradable. There'll be feel-good factor. That means there won't be any harmful chemicals, and it's 100% vegan, meaning there'll be an absence of animal ingredients. And we also focus on inclusive beauty, meaning beauty which caters to all, regardless of their skin tone, their skin type, the affordability, and the lifestyle. Also, the most important thing, 50% of all profits will be donated or used for causes that promote diversity and inclusion. Meaning, for example, funding education and life skill causes, for example, makeup and beauty related to minority groups, for example, women, and the less privileged. And the next slide. Just also, I would like to introduce myself a little. I'm Sivagami, and I'm a professional makeup artist based in Penang. And having been in the makeup industry for the past 5 years, I think it is safe to say that there have been a lot of myths going on around regarding vegan products. For example, vegan products ought to be expensive, and that is a myth. And also, when it comes to clean products, a lot of young adults tend to assume that exotic ingredients wouldn't be used, and they'll be, meaning that the lip balms or the commercial cosmetics wouldn't be that effective. And I think Gargi is here to break it all. And for that, the fund that we are collecting is 25,000. For now, it's a small scale business. Next slide, please. And this is the breakdown: 10,000 for raw materials, 10,000 for distribution, and 5,000 for marketing. And with this, next slide, please. And I think the change starts from us, and it's time for us to take the first step together. So join me in this clean vegan beauty revolution, progressing one lip balm at a time. Thank you. Yeah, that's all for today.
Okay, thank you for the presentation, Sivagami. Few questions. Don't worry if you don't know the answers off the top of your head.
Okay.
So based on, I think, the slide that had some financials, you had 10,000 ringgit as production costs. How did you get that figure?
It's just a rough estimate.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. So generally what happens in the industry, especially in Malaysia, probably know this already, that it's OEM products from China. OEM meaning white label. All brands have the same product, it's just a different name on it, it's just how marketing is done. And all these suppliers typically have big MOQs, minimum order quantities. So 10,000 seems a bit too small. You may not hit the MOQs to import something from overseas, meaning you would have to find a local distributor, which means it'll be a lot more expensive and may not be viable in terms of a business model. So I'd suggest looking into that in a bit more detail.
Sure, I will.
And also, I think you didn't really think about the financials going forward, meaning you had to think about cost today. But do you have any idea how much revenue you want to do over the next year or two in terms of sales?
Actually, honestly, I thought of starting small, meaning I was only looking at selling 125 lip balms per month to start off with, because it's very hard. I understand, because lip balm is like a growing market and it is a little difficult to penetrate when it comes to vegan lip balms. So the number that I thought of was 125 per month.
Okay. And this would be direct to consumer via some sort of online marketplace?
Yes.
Okay. Like a Shopee, Lazada type of thing, or your own online website?
I thought of an online website.
Okay. So presumably you use something like Shopify.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I have tons of questions, but I think I'm going to put a pin in it for the time being to allow the other judge to ask you a few questions as well.
Thank you.
All right.
Right. Okay, thank you for the presentation. So just a couple of quick ones, yeah. So in terms of the product itself, like Ashwin was saying, unless there's a large quantity, there's a little bit of a challenge there. But at the same time, I'm also trying to understand, even though it is a growing market, there is a lot of competition in this market, right? So
yes.
I understand that you're differentiating yourself, saying it's a vegan product, and by listing the ingredients and so on. But at the same time, there are other products within this space that also, sell something similar. right? So how do you hope to differentiate yourself? Also considering that you're trying to be on an e-commerce platform, and that's how you want to sell it.
Actually, I think the most there are lip balms that are clean and vegan, but I think the price point is very high in the market right now. So I think the first differentiating point would be the price point.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess that takes us back to what your costing, realistically,
Yes.
what your costing can be, right? So yeah, I
Yes.
think that's something that you might want to look at. Apart from that, are you looking at purchasing the product and Ashwin software, but just white labeling it, or is there something that you want to look at in terms of manufacturing part of it as well?
I was thinking about manufacturing, not just getting a product and labeling it. That is what I had in mind.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
I have to look into the cost.
Yeah, so keeping that in mind, I think it would be useful to look at what the setup cost would be, so what your capex is, and what the initial investment that you might want to look at.
Sure.
All right. Okay. I'm okay for now. I'll let Cynthia ask a couple as well.
Okay, thank you.
I'm good. Okay, so thank you. I think
Thank you.
it was a good presentation. Thank you. We'll
Thank
move
you so much.
to the presenter. Who do we have next? Is it Aruna from iNextLab?
Yeah, I can share my screen.
Yes, sure.
Please let me know if you can see the screen.
Okay, we can see your screen. It looks clear. It looks good.
Okay, perfect.
Take it away
So,
anytime when you're ready.
sorry.
Yeah, you can start anytime you're ready.
Okay, perfect. I'm ready. So, welcome, gentlemen. Myself, Arun from iNextLab, next generation lab, creating bots that can speak, chat, listen, learn, and adapt. So, if we take a business, customer satisfaction is the highest priority. And every customer expects the business to be available 24/7 for supporting them. And they expect to reach the business at each rather than calling a toll-free number, pressing 1, 2, 3, and getting lost in the flow. And customer retention or repetition is the actual success of the business, and the business expects everything to happen in a cost-effective way. And we solve all the problems. So our solution is we are an AI-focused company based in Singapore and India, and we are specialized in building conversational AI products. When I say conversational AI products, we do chatbots, voice bots, vision AI, etc. that runs on 30 plus channels like Google Business Messenger, WhatsApp, Facebook, Insta, etc. So we just make this happen by using Microsoft Bot Framework, Dialogflow, Google's Dialogflow, React, OpenAI. So hope you would have known about the ChatGPT. What's really just making surprise for everyone, and we do integrate it with more than 30 plus channels. And our target audience we are industry specific. So we already have bots with us for every industry, say iNext Retail, iNext Healthcare, bank, future food and beverages. So we already have a pre-trained bot in every industry who can take care of all customer support. Say, for example, if there is a clinic, and in a clinic, usually how the booking happens is like the patient needs to make a phone call, just book an appointment. And if they want to reschedule it, they need to make a phone call and rebook it. So instead, if they are using our solutions, the clinic can just give them a WhatsApp number where the customer just can go get in and say like, hey, I would like to meet this doctor on this date. Your appointment is booked. So everything is automated. And if at all they need to reschedule the appointment, or if they need to send some reports, so whatever it is, everything can happen via WhatsApp. So there is no more phone call required. There is no more website booking or mobile app, anything. It's just WhatsApp can do. And we can not only make use of WhatsApp, we can make use of Facebook, Telegram, RCS, Google Business Message, and much more. And we can just send rich medias, etc., etc. And even if it's like, say, assume like if we take a food and beverage industry, think of getting into a restaurant, sitting at the table, just talking with our bot and ordering something, and the food is delivered to your kitchen. So our bot can take care of each and every single use case in each industry. So these people are our targets. And the market potential is actually like by 2027, the Gartner expects the chatbot will become the primary customer service. And in the next 2 years, 38% of the organizations are planning to implement the chatbots. So this is going to be $1 billion business in the future. So how different we are from the usual bots? Say if somebody is using Amazon or Ola, they might have known already about this. Say like they get into the customer support, and now the customer supports are just solved automatically rather than speaking to somebody else. How different we are from them? So basically, their bots can actually give you options to choose, and you can just select them. But our bots can talk naturally in any language. It can answer questions. It can make suggestions. It can speak, and it can self-command if it doesn't know anything that's coming from the user. And also, in case if required, it can hand over to the human agent if the bot wouldn't respond. So this is how our bot actually works. And our competitors we are actually very early into the market, and we compete head to head with our competitors like LOAI, Haptic, Active AI, etc. And we are early adapters of neural voice and OpenAI. So neural voice is like a CEO of a company just directly giving their voice for their bots. So, and we do customization to the route. Say, for example, for Fullerton Hospital, we have done collecting a report of from the patient and just putting it up with the clear data in their CRMs. So we do customization the route, and we guarantee good customer service and support. And currently, our customers we have worked with T-Life, Fullerton, Pondicherry Tourism, Lakshmi Ceramics, and Shai Maharani, and few more we are working with, and lot more in the pipeline. So getting into the leadership team. So the Aruna Alagappan, it's myself, Arun. I have 13 years of experience in the software industry, and I take care of marketing and market analysis and ideation. And Murugapan is taking care of the product engineering, and Sachin is taking care of marketing and sales, and Namla is taking care of the accounting and finance. And we are very clear in the pricing. So we need to understand the pricing depends on the size of the business and a lot more factors like live agents, how many modules they're going to use, what are the channels they are going to use. But we are very clear on the pricing, but this needs to be discussed with the customer one-to-one. And we think the future is faster than you think. Together, let's redefine the customer experience. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Arun. Now we'll proceed to the Q&A. The judges.
Thanks, Arun. I think it's clear this is a bit more of a mature company relative to what we've seen from the other two presentations. You said you've got customers already. Presumably, these customers are using your services in specific jurisdictions for the time being.
I can go back to my customers. Yeah,
so it's just India and Singapore for the time being.
Yeah, they are basically they are from India and Singapore. And again, we are a very young startup, so we are not a very mature company. We are just a very young startup. It's just 2 years since we started.
Okay, I guess young is relative in today's world. Have you raised capital?
We have infused 500,000 Singapore dollars so far from the leadership team, and we are looking for much more funding.
Okay, so you've bootstrapped so far, and you're actively pursuing a funding round?
Yeah.
Okay. Any idea how much you want to raise?
We are looking for 1 million funding. And
1 million US?
Singapore dollars.
Singapore dollars. Okay.
And the X percentage can be discussed with the finance team, who can give a clear picture of the valuation currently what we have, and what's the X percentage what we're looking for.
Okay. And what do you need the capital for?
Can you please come back with the question?
Sure. So you're looking to raise capital.
Okay. So yeah.
What's that going to be used for? Meaning headcount, infrastructure.
Yeah, perfect. So I have already talked about our infrastructures, right? So we are already using a Microsoft Bot Framework, OpenAI, and others. So when using a Microsoft Bot Frameworks, we need to use Azure services. Microsoft has already funded us 100,000 Singapore dollars for making use of their infrastructures. But when we wanted to scale ourselves to the next level, we will be investing it for the infrastructure mainly, and also into the R&D, because the OpenAI, like it's very beginning. It's like in November 2022, we got to know about the ChatGPT. So we'll be putting a little bit of funding into the R&D and the remaining into the Azure services, and then into expansion of our team.
Okay, and just high level on the financials that you have. I know maybe you don't want to go into the detail of your pricing, but what's your current monthly revenue? Just maybe the last month.
Yeah, we are making around 20,000 Singapore dollars per month, which is actually covering our running cost at this stage.
That's very low running cost. Are you paying yourselves?
Yeah, because like the reason why I said the running cost is very is 20,000. We already have a funding from Microsoft. We don't pay anything for the infrastructure for now because they have already recognized us as a next level startup. So our running cost is basically for execution of the deployments and the R&D. So the major infrastructure cost is covered by Microsoft themselves, identifying us as the next gen startup.
Okay, what about salaries and, for example, rent?
Do you mean about salaries?
Are you paying yourselves salaries?
Yeah. So maybe I can take it to the leadership team. Perfect. So I actually play a key role in the market analysis and ideation, and Murugapan is completely into the company, and he's being paid as a salary. And Sachin and Annamalai are actually key stakeholders who take salaries. Yeah.
Okay. All right. 20,000 Sing per month is very low as a total OPEX. So it's definitely interesting. But yeah, okay. Sorry to take up effectively all the judges' time, but please, other judges, go ahead with questions.
So right. Thank you for that, Arun. So yeah, a couple of things in terms of the roadmap itself. You were talking about what the utilization of the funding is going to be and so on, right? But considering you have a full market product in play at this particular point of time, when are you looking at scaling this so that right now your OPEX is quite low, but that's going to increase over time, right? So when do you plan to expand, and what is the strategy going forward in terms of expansion?
Okay, the clear strategy what we have is like maybe let me take myself to the existing customers. So we are introducing a partner program. Say we just look forward for partners who can partner with us and take us to their customers. Say for example, T-Live is actually we have partnered with Zendesk partner in Malaysia, and that particular partner helped us bring in T-Live to us. So T-Live is actually using Zendesk, and we are providing a complete conversational solution for T-Live through our partners. So we are just planning to expand our partners so that we'll be able to take ourselves to the next level. So that's the strategy what we have now.
Sure. Thank you, Arun.
Yeah.
India?
Okay. I think time's up for Q&A too. No questions from me. Thanks for.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we can move to the next.
Next, we have Ambika. If you are ready, you can share your screen, please.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, my laptop just disconnected. All right. Let me pull up my presentation. Okay. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can, Vika.
All right,
We can
I'll
start,
share
yeah.
video as well. All right, hi everyone. Okay, should I get started then? Okay, so I would like to put everyone, or I would like to request that everyone imagine yourself as a girl right before Diwali, like 2 weeks before Diwali, okay? You've been busy at work, you've been busy with meeting your assignment deadlines. You haven't been able to look online for clothes. You haven't been able to go to the store to buy clothes. So what do? You start stalking people's Instagrams. You start to look for Instagram pages that would sell clothes on a short-term basis, not a short-term basis, but on a short notice. So I've been through this many times, and I've noticed that there's actually quite a few Instagram pages that do not have a platform to sell on. And that's why I thought of this, niram.my. All right, let me go to the next slide. So the problem is, there's thousands of cultural events happening around the world, and there isn't a traditional website, an e-commerce website for traditional clothes. And that is why we are going to tap that market and sell on and create this e-commerce platform. So the solution is a one-stop website for all things ethnic wear. So it would have accessories, it would have clothes, it would have everything at your fingertips. And last minute shopping, no problem, because we will go to the local sellers. And so it would only take a day, maybe a week for any delivery to happen. And we'd have the rush or premium delivery option for it to arrive the next day. So that solution, the solution will solve that issue. And why I say inclusive and exclusive e-commerce platform, that is because we're inclusive for all the local businesses that do not have a brand yet. And we're exclusive because we are selling traditional attire, ethnic wear on our website. And yeah, so that is the solution. So the target audience is, in the phase 1 stage, we're going to do a go-to-market strategy where we're just going to target the Malaysian Indians. So we're going to start in Malaysia. And there is about 2.9 million Malaysian Indians who would be our initial target audience. Phase 2, we'd go beyond Malaysia. So we'd go to the Indian overseas population. So in Southeast Asia, which would be Singapore, Myanmar, and then Australia and Middle East. So the approximate population of Indians in these regions would be around 8.7 million, if not more. Then the phase 3 would involve going beyond just the Indian population, which would mean we would introduce other types of traditional wear, which we are deciding to use Malaysian Malays as the next target market, which is about 20 million people in Malaysia. All right, next one. So this is the product. It's going to be a website featuring ethnic clothing and jewelry sold by local businesses. So this is the whole model that we're going with. The sources of revenue. So of course, product purchase itself will account for majority of our revenue. But besides that, there'll be a subscription fee for the local sellers to display their products on the site. But to make sure they are comfortable and happy to use this, on at least until we get the market, we will reduce or basically remove the subscription fee for the initial few months or a year. And then the rush delivery. So there will be an extra cost for premium delivery such that they can get it within the next day or next 2 working days. So if there is an event in 2 days, you're settled. And then, all right, so now the revenue breakdown. So I've taken an example of an item costing 200 ringgit. Sorry. Okay, yes, so the 200 ringgit revenue, the item is going to cost 200 ringgit. The seller's revenue would be about 70% of it. The costs involved in the product would be 5% for delivery, 15% for other costs such as marketing, the website maintenance, and so on. And 10% would be net profit for growth of the business. Our competition. So currently, everyone would be aware of Zalora. So Zalora does not have traditional wear, and that is where we are going to come in. Then there is other stores that sell only Indian clothes like India or Pernias pop up, but these are brands that are selling from India or America, which is going to take a long time to reach Malaysia. Then there's Shein, which also sells Indian clothes apparently, but we are not sure of the quality and we're not sure when it's going to arrive. So there are those issues. Then there's Yuva and Sonali, which are local brands, local Indian clothing brands. They have their own websites, but our website would have from multiple local businesses rather than just one or like their own self-made brands. Then there is revenue projections. I won't go into too much detail here, but essentially within, we will start, as I said earlier, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and we expect to have about 10 million in revenue by the 5th year. The team, there's me, myself, and Meenakshi. So I am actually, I have a background in accounting and finance, and I have 2 years working as a business consultant at EY. I've also worked with e-commerce platform like businesses. And I've also, and Meenakshi has done her own 2 startups before this. So she has an idea of how the startup industry works or how to get the market. And so we will work together and get rid of the pain point that we have both faced many times. And that should be the last slide. Thank you very much. So put your trust in us and we could be the next Amazon of fashion. Yes.
Thank you, Ambika. Just now you mentioned there will be a video. Are you showing a video?
No, not a video. I think I meant to share my screen.
Okay, right, got it. Thank you. Now we'll open it up for Q&A.
Maybe I'll take this first. Thanks, Ambika, for the presentation. I think it's fairly clear what you want to do. But in terms of competition in the market, and I think you may be able to correct me if I'm wrong here, sellers on Facebook and TikTok can also be significant competition for you, right?
Yep, that's right. So sellers on TikTok, on social media, yes, they can be a competition. However, again, like if you go on Instagram and you see these pages, they have a lot of variety. But if you want to order anything, you have to WhatsApp them. And it'll take especially during peak periods, there's no way for you to reach them. So this is the best way to get all those sellers into one platform and be able to, make purchases on shorter notice.
Okay. Assuming execution is workable, meaning you get sellers onto your platform and orders go through and people are able to fulfill, how do you plan on driving users to your website?
Yeah, so for that, I mean, if I'm sure everyone's using social media now, so social media influencers are going to be a very, very crucial, useful method to get people to look at our website or buy things from us. So that is one strategy. Another strategy is, of course, having sales discounts, and those are the 2 main ways. Okay.
Typically for an e-commerce platform like this, media buying is a big aspect. Media buying meaning the simplest form is boosting on Facebook and effectively Instagram, TikTok. And it can be very expensive. So you probably have to think about user acquisition cost. And with that, you effectively have to think about what is your break-even point. With an e-commerce platform, the break-even points are typically quite far down the line, unless you have huge volumes. So yeah, and encourage for you to have a think about it. But that's it from my perspective.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you, Ambika. So just a couple of quick questions. Yeah. So with regard to existing players in the in e-commerce who are selling similar products, even though it might not be ethnic products, what prevents them from getting into your space, considering they already have the infrastructure and the support system there?
So I'd like to say the fact that this is a very niche market. So even if Zalora was to start buying start onboarding these traditional wear customers, they wouldn't think of this because they wouldn't see the market there. Because they're already selling all the normal brands. Oh, that is the other aspect. The fact that these are local sellers, they don't have a branding. Whereas when you go in Zalora, you can see all the brands and you'll choose which brands you want to look at. If you see this random like local sellers selling there, you're not going to click on them. So this is why I think this e-commerce platform would meet that niche.
Okay. So I think the challenge here is, apart from what we've already spoken about, is the barrier to entry for existing players is not very high. So you'll have to really carve out a niche, and you'll have to do that by acquiring sufficient customers to support the volume that you would expect, to support the cost, because your margins are also fairly small, right? And the percentage that you put across in terms of your customer acquisition might be a little bit small. And I think so, which will further cut down into your net margin, right? Which is at approximately 10% at this moment, right? So that might be something that you think about. Apart from that, in terms of the growth and the strategy going forward, digital media, okay, but what else? Right? What else which puts you in a separate space and makes your particular platform fairly unique, apart from the fact that it's ethnic clothing alone?
Yeah. Okay. All points that I shall consider. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm just curious, this one I have to ask. What's your ask, Ambika? You're seeking for funding, you're seeking for partnership. What is it that you like us to help?
Well, it's more about market validation, because this is purely an idea. So if I can get some sort of validation and get ideas, I can further research in the market, and then, yeah.
Right.
The start off.
Okay, got it. Yep. We'll
Thank
talk again
you,
when there's a
Rajesh.
chance. Thank you for presenting.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the next presenter. Who do we have next?
Next, we have Vibhooshana. You
Yes,
ready,
a very good
You can share
afternoon
your
to
screen.
everybody.
Vibhooshana, right?
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll share my screen.
Yes, please.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. Okay, you can start when you're ready.
Yeah, good to go. So a very good afternoon to everybody. I'm Vibhooshana, and I'm here to talk about my company, which is in existence, the Magic Bubbles detergent. So I'll be taking you through the following, like about me, about the company. I'll be telling some stories through the numbers that I have right now, and the business model, and what is my plan for the next few years. So I'm currently pursuing my MBA in marketing and HR. I'm also doing my second degree in MCom, which is Master of Commerce. And these are a couple of hobbies that I hold and the responsibilities that I have. So about my company, Magic Bubbles is a detergent company which focuses on giving out phosphate-free detergent, which is light duty and pocket friendly. So what are we looking at is a sustainable washing process for the society. And compared to the products in the market, Magic Bubbles holds less chemicals, and this is going to help the clothes stay stronger and brighter for a long period of time. So these are some of the features that Magic Bubbles has. Like, it works both in hot and cold water and hard and soft water. It removes tough stains and takes good care of the clothes, and the lather doesn't wear out very quickly. So these are the pain points that we address. For like the people, the rate of the product is going to be only 3/4 of what is the product available in the market. If we say RIN is placed about 113 rupees in Indian market, our product is only going to be about 85 rupees. And the economic value, the economical aspect of what we could see is that we're distributing through small self-help groups in the town, and so due to this a lot of women are being employed and they're provided with work opportunities. And the environment aspect, we are looking for a sustainable future and the sustainable growth. So this is going to be phosphate free, and this will help in achieving the environment growth. So the channel of distribution for the self-help group and the lower market would be, these are some of the villages and towns in Tamil Nadu. And there are 2 points that we're reaching out to right now, but we look forward to expanding to 12 points, and we are in talk with that. And the numbers that we have in hand right now, like what has happened for a year, we've sold about 5,000 packets, and the initial investment was about 1,16,000 Indian rupees, which included the GST registration and the packaging and marketing. And we got a turnover of 3,65,800 Indian rupees, and the profit that we have in hand after everything is about 1,19,000. So right now we're not manufacturing it, but instead we're acquiring it from somebody else. So it is on the contract basis that we've given out the formula. So we're acquiring for 40 rupees, and the total procuring cost after GST would be about 47, and we're selling it for 73 rupees like unofficially, and officially on Amazon and other platforms about 85 rupees. So this is the packaging of Magic Bubbles. And how did we find out that the other products in the market has phosphate? We did some research and found out some research papers which validated our data that products like Ariel, Gentle, and Omo, they contain a lot of phosphate in them, at least about 5 to 20% of phosphate in them, and that we would come up with something which is completely phosphate free. And we wanted to focus on this because phosphate is something that supports the eutrophication process happening in the environment. So this is in turn going to cause water pollution, and we wanted to avoid that. So these are some of the papers that we collected in respect to India and how this affects the water ecosystem in India. So the phosphate content in a normal scoop of detergent of brand X is about 5 to 20%, and Magic Bubbles, it is going to be 0%. We've substituted the phosphate with normal salt and alum, which is borax. And the business model, we would like to talk about the economical like donut model, because we are focusing on environment and sustainability. So in the social, yes, ma'am. Yeah. So the shortfall of the social foundation, we would be focusing on water and health, and in this we'd be focusing about ocean acidification and water pollution. And this is the target market we're looking at. So 2 kinds of people. In the upper market, we'd be looking for people who are willing to build up a sustainable lifestyle, and in the middle class, people who are looking to save more money. And this is the age group, and we'd be reaching out through agents, resellers, e-commerce platforms, and direct sales. So we have already listed ourselves in Amazon, and we are selling it in proportions of 1 kg, 2, 5, and 3 kg packets, and on Instagram as well. And we've done a short market research to prove that Magic Bubbles is really doing well in the market. So these are the data that we got. These are some of the testimonials that I was able to collect from the customers who have been using Magic Bubbles from the start for a year. So they came up with ideas stating that we should come up with more flavors, and we should come up with products such as like liquid detergent, which would help them wash clothes better. And the operation process at Magic Bubbles is we acquire raw materials, mix them, spray drying, labeling, and shipping. So in order to scale up, we would require more machinery and more manpower. So the plans that we hold for the next 2 years would be to increase the production capacity to about 50,000 pouches, and to come up with more products such as liquid detergent, washing pots, and washing bars, and to build up a sustainable washing process for the environment, and build a good future, like friendly brand for the future. So we would be, in order to achieve this 50,000 pouches, we would be needing a funding of about 1 crore. 60% would be invested in production, and 40% in sales and distribution. In the case of production, we would mean like the rent that we need to pay for the space, the machinery that we need for mixing, drying, and packing, and for the sales and distribution in regard to Amazon and other e-commerce platforms, the marketing, shipping, and selling. I would like to tell a small story about how Magic Bubbles came into existence. So me and my mom, we were discussing about coming up with sustainable ways to change our lifestyle. So that is when we found out that the detergent brands usually have a lot of chemicals in them. So we wanted to do something about it. And I've always been a serial entrepreneur. I've had about 3 startups before this, but they were service, and I wanted to have a product that I can run from anywhere. Even if I'm at college, I can run my business right now with the help of my mom, who's taking care of the administration. So we are a team of 2, and we're looking for some more co-founders, like the core team of co-founders with investment. And so that is how Magic Bubbles came into existence. Me and my mom, we worked on the formula, and about 15 trial and errors later, in the 16th one, we were able to come up with this formula. Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now it's Q&A time.
Thank you very much for that presentation, Vibhooshana. A few questions.
Yes, sure.
So I note your revenue currently, and well done on it.
Thank you.
In terms of percentage of sales channels distributions, would you be able to give me a ballpark spread?
So like, how much are we looking at from Amazon and how much through self-help groups?
Correct.
So like right now we are laser focusing on the self-help groups part, because that is where we started with, and that is our main market, because the pricing is really low, so we'd be able to reach out to more people. Right now we have 2 points of distribution, and we're looking for 12 points in the coming year. So I think that would be the focus, and we would get about 60% of our revenue from that.
Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's effectively like a multi-level marketing sale. Presumably you give out some commission.
Right.
What commissions do you give?
So like we have only one criteria to sell through them. So they have to pay 50,000 before they take out the packets. So an average 1 point would have 100 women employed. So these people are like house workers, and they would pay 50% before they take the packets with them. And then they sell and they pay back the rest 50%, and they come to collect the next set of products. So they would not get a commission directly, but they can fix a rate that they want, anything about between 10 to 5 rupees a packet. So it depends on them.
Okay, so they have a target return for themselves, but from your perspective, you have a set selling price.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There will be some challenges in terms of scaling. You'll need a much bigger team doing multi-level marketing, but that's okay. That's a problem you can face down the road. You seem like a very resourceful person. You're currently a student, and you've had a few startups in the past. What happened with those startups?
So initially, like my journey in short, the first one I found out a problem in the market, which is that people were looking for customized gifts. So my first 2 startups were based on that. One was event management, like for small parties, and the next one was gifting. But then when I moved from a UG to PG, the market totally changed. Like the place that I was situated changed, and so I had to shut that down. And the second thing, another reason is because COVID happened, and I couldn't come up with event management, like because people weren't allowed outside. And the third startup was a home bakery that I had during COVID period, because everybody were baking and I wanted to do that too. So that did pretty well, but then I had to go back to campus when lockdown like did not happen, and we had to get back to campus. So I had to shut that down because I couldn't be here to do the cakes. And that is when I found out that service industry is going to be difficult if you have to travel and you've got work to do. So if it's a product based industry or a firm that you're setting up, like you can take care of it from anywhere if you have the proper right team set up here.
Okay, all right. Are you confident you'll pursue this?
Yes,
this
yes.
venture?
I come from an entrepreneurial family. Like my dad's been in business for like 25 years. So I think it comes in my bloodline that I want to be an entrepreneur.
Okay, all right. Thank you. No further questions for me.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
All right. Interesting, Vibhooshana. Very interesting journey. So the first question that I have is, in terms of the 5,000 units that you've sold, I understand it's from those 2 points as well, but you have it on Amazon too, right?
Yeah.
So out of that, maybe just an idea of what the repeat customers are for your particular product.
So we've listed in Amazon only from this January 3. So in Amazon, we're only able to sell like about 15 units until now. So our major share is from the self-help groups. And for a year, we could see that people are purchasing frequently, at least like 4-5 times, repeated customers from the data that we've gathered. So I think they are used to this detergent and we'd be having repetitive customers throughout.
Right. So I see your price point is lower than the competition, at least most of it, right? So just wanted to get an idea in terms of the product acceptance in the market itself. So I think that's something that you might want to look at in the future. So you have an idea of in terms of product and additional product lines that you were earlier talking about, right? What would be helpful in terms of selling more. I think apart from that, the setup of a unit yourself, right? That is what you're looking at in the future,
Yes.
purchasing from through a contract, and would be interesting to see in terms of the capex that would be involved as a part of it, and again the commitment that would require in terms of people actually running the business, especially with a manufacturing unit in place. So I don't know if you have any plans for that already set up, but if you do, please do let me know.
Yes, so as I was talking, like we're looking for funding of about 1 crore, and right now I've once I finish my MBA, I think I'm going to step in like full time into this business, and I'll be able to dedicate a lot of time in it. And we're looking for a core team as well, because this would require a lot of manpower to dedicatedly work here. So we're looking at it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, no questions from me. Thank you, Vibhooshana. Amazing presentation.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, we can move on to the next one.
Next is Sriram, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let me share the screen. Let me know when you all can see the screen. Is that viewable?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I can start, right?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, so hello. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Sriram and I'll be presenting about my company, which is called Food Insights. So let's go into the slide. Okay, so from here, what we can see is that current scenario in Malaysian restaurants is that if the boss is asking, hey, manager, why is our restaurant is not doing so well? Then the employee is saying, hey, hi boss, increase in food, raw material prices badly impacted our business. So from here, we can see the current issues faced by the restaurant owners. So one of the issues is the high price in food materials, and number two is that increase in food prices, and third is that the competition every day, and also the number of people going out to eat is less because of the COVID. And the fourth thing is the inflation and minimum wage implementation. Lastly is the impose and increase pricing on their menu based on the price. So as we all know that they have no choice to increase the prices due to the increase of inflation, so which will make their business not to sustain. So let's get into the problem statement. So the problem statements from my product is that lack of reporting and impact analysis tools related to restaurants' performance, rise of raw materials price due to inflation and COVID-19 impact, which has brought huge losses to restaurant owners. And the third one is food material wastage due to insufficient analysis. So the objectives of my presentation will be to digitalize and reshape the functional and operational outlook of local Malaysian restaurant industry, and also to help small restaurant owners to learn and implement real-time indicators, analytics to improve their profitability. And the final one is to assist retailers and food companies tackle food waste management. So as obviously we have our vision and mission. Our vision is that a top data-driven company to ensure food businesses gain the resilience to meet unusual challenges that could increase risk and impact profitability. Mission is to help restaurant owners to sustain, be profitable, and provide quality food to their customers with the right price. And so the solution of our company is that a restaurant data analytics platform where restaurant owners will be able to analyze every data point related to their business in real time and converting them into insights, and also to enable better understanding on why their business is performing in a certain way. Note that we are not a point of sales system because it's totally different to what we are trying to prove. Next is our product overview, where users can input their data into our platform, where we have a tool for that. And from there, we'll be able to provide a real-time analysis here. So let's get into the product demo. So I've started development, but then still we are in, halfway. So I'm only showing the mock-up here. So as you all can see that, in example, right, if in a restaurant we have a supervisor, they are able to input what are the information, for example, if there's any unused vegetables, so how much they are using it or how much they have left. So after that, once they have created it, then it will show the chart of it, how, so like, for example, top food ordered yesterday. So as you all can see here, and then also the unused vegetables in kilogram. So from this, we're able to show them in a dashboard, the overview of it, and then also to show them how to improve their business from this. Okay. So the next slide will be the market size. So as you all can see here, the slide, because I could not really find the updated statistic. So from here, the total restaurants in Malaysia 2022 estimated due to the impact as 251,000, and then total local restaurants is estimated 130K, and our target market for the first year, initial year, will be 150 restaurants. So the next is the business model. The important thing is that I will only show the important things, where the key partners will be the local restaurant owners, food suppliers, and the value propositions will be to provide cost-efficient and real-time data analytics, and also to digitalize the local food industry market, reduce food wastage, and also to improve food tourism. The revenue stream will be monthly subscription, and also we will be sharing the information with our government agencies to improve their tourism. So next, our plan from starting from data collection to predicting the business using AI. And the next slide will be the strength and weakness, where our strength is to customizable analytics. Weakness is the unpredictability of the data collection, and opportunity is we want to build a food ecosystem through big data. And also the threats is that the lack of trust from customers and other few things. So the competitor analysis, as you all can see here, is that we don't really have a competitor in Malaysia. All the competitors are outside of Malaysia, which is based in US, and as you all can see that our price also is very less from others. And so in future, what is our aim is that the boss is asking, hey, manager, how is our restaurant doing so well recently? And the employee is replying, Food Insights. It provides an automated email campaigns. For example, we Miss You campaign, where we offer free pizza to customers who had not visited the restaurant in past 30 days. So it generated around 300 visits and 30,000 in revenue. So in conclusion, we help the restaurant owners to sustain their business and also help ourselves to eat food with reasonable price. Then third thing is also to reduce food wastage, and finally build an ecosystem for food supply chain so it's affordable and reasonable for everyone. My team, I'm the only person right now because I'm planning to start this next month, the prototype, and from there I'll be adding my friends into this. Thank you.
Thank you for
Any
sharing.
question?
Okay, now
Thanks, Sriram, for your presentation. I note that you touched on competitors in the market.
Yeah.
And you did mention there's no competitors in Malaysia, but I'm afraid you have lots of competitors in Malaysia.
Okay.
It may not be exactly what you are pitching, but the simplest form of a competitor you have are providers of point of sale systems.
Yes, I understand that. Yep.
There's a significant amount of analytics that goes into it already. It's more inclined to revenue. So sales, for example, when are your peak periods, so you can plan your staff, all of that's there already in the market. And to be able to compete with the likes of them is very difficult. It will be very difficult because they've poured in a lot of capital into this. And also a question for you is, okay, let's just say you build something fantastic,
Okay.
and it works high level, but operationally, do you think F&B owners will want to use your platform?
Yeah, for sure. You know why? Because what I'm thinking that is that imagine, because my target is not the high-end restaurants. So my target is the smaller restaurants who doesn't really have any proper system. So they will be having papers, So I'll be helping them to digital, to have digitalization in free, where it'll be, the first year will be free. And then from there, I'll prove them is that, from our platform, it really helps them to sustain business. So I'm not targeting to the ones who already have existing platforms. So the one who's, SMEs, so I can help them. Because now from what I've seen from the ministers, right, the statement is that they are saying the small restaurants are being impacted. So I want to help them. Yeah, so I feel I can operate from there.
It may surprise you, but the small restaurants are using point of sale systems. Even the hawker stalls are.
Yeah.
So they've got analytics in there because it's not expensive for them to use these sorts of platforms. But you have a problem where the smaller restaurants, the managers, for example, are crazy busy trying to keep operations going.
True.
They won't have the time to input data into a system.
Yeah.
Operationally, that is something you might have to think about.
Yeah, I have another alternative for this where, we have this automated weighing scales, all this stuff where, we can immediately insert through automation to our database, right? So we will be selling it in a package, if that will be in future. But then what I understand now is that the important part will be the data collection for the food industry, which we don't really have in Malaysia right now.
Okay, all right. I have a lot more questions, but I'm going to pass it on to the other judges for now.
Sure. Thank you, Sriram, for the presentation. I have to double down on what Ashwin is saying in terms of the competition, right? A lot of players here. I think in the last 6 months, I've personally interviewed at least 8 or 10 startups who were looking at a pre-accelerator or an accelerator program with similar products, also POS integration, right? And the second part is that they do work long, working hours, and inputting data might be a challenge. So getting customers, especially unless you can offer something specifically niche, which streamlines and makes their operations a lot more efficient, apart from what you're providing, I think that's where the challenge will really lie. And also with regard to a lot of these solutions are also designed for street food hawkers, that kind of thing as well. So there are currently plenty of users on that front. So yeah, so I think that part is a little bit of a challenge. Apart from that, I think the other thing I want to know is, in terms of is there a niche space that you're looking at going forward from here, and what separates you from the rest, right? I think.
Yeah, so what we are trying to do is that, okay, so far I understand there's, there's POS implementation over there, but then what I've seen there is that they don't have a system where they can also, track the unused materials, what they're trying to use, and all other things. So what I feel that, if I can implement something which is not in the POS system, that will be helpful for them. And also, in the end, right, because we want to see that to help them, rather than having sales and then analyze from the sales, then we want to go to deep dive into what is the impact before the sales itself. So I want to target that. So if I can, if I can help them from there, so it will help them to create a better sales revenue after that. Yeah.
Right. Okay, thank you. Just one thing, maybe a little bit more research on the competition side might help you, figure out your specific niche space here, right? I think that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Sriram, just now you mentioned that you have no experience in your restaurant managing.
No, yes. There's no experience for me in restaurant managing.
Get some experience first, and at the same time to test out whether your product works.
Yes. Yeah.
Something to consider.
Mm.
Okay, that's all from my side.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Raja. I'll be sharing the screen. Whenever you're ready, Raja.
I think, yep, sure. So I have a connectivity issue, so I'll keep the video off during presentation. Okay. Evening, everyone. Now I'd like you guys to put yourself into the shoes of a 28-year-old Malaysian here. You have been raised in a multicultural society, and you have been exposed to various differences that exist within a society and celebrate these diversities. You have been driven to succeed in your education and career to the point where when you look back, all you have are memories of relationships, but no one significant right next to you. Dating phases aside, you are tired of waking up, work, flirt, repeat situation here because it leads nowhere. What if I told you that the partner that you're looking for might be just a click away? I am privileged to present to you Marriage Story, an online matchmaking platform that connects like-minded Malaysians all the way from engagement and to the ultimate commemoration of marriage. Next, please. So starting with my problem statement, I will walk you through the solution, opportunity, business model, services that we provide, and the competitive landscape. I want the judges to take note that this is still at a conceptual stage. It's an ideation, framing, and the numbers that are presented here are based on benchmarking. Next, please. So going on to the problem, by the time you come out of university, when you have the maturity to acknowledge relationship situation, when you start working, you realize that the opportunity to meet someone outside of your work environment reduces significantly, as you have exhausted the pre-existing dating apps such as Tinder, Bumble, Facebook dating, and you have looked into the online social media platforms, Facebook pages, etc. You are tired of having conversations with people that you know will not lead to anything meaningful at the end of the day. And even if it does, your partner may not be entertaining the idea of marriage simply because it does not fit into their timeline. You, on the other side, do not want to take critical time off work to meet people just because they want to hang out. And you have sort of lost touch with how to be romantic, how to maintain confluent love, and how to surface your thoughts during a date. Things that are very essential for communication and building meaningful relationships. Now, let us assume you have successfully done all of these and you have mounted a relationship and you're planning for marriage. You resort to quick internet searches from vendors and planners, and you try to put things together. But what if I told you that the pain points that we have highlighted today, sorry, you should go back to the previous one. Yeah, are essentially, there is no avenue for you to meet like-minded individuals with the intention of getting married. There is a lack of time to identify a match and enhancing your social skill to appeal to the person of your liking. And there is an information gap when it comes to planning, tailoring, and organizing your own wedding event. Next, please. So this leads us to utilizing online social media space where we blatantly publicize ourselves beyond what we would prefer to anyone and everyone out there. Next, keep on doing, yeah. So what we end up doing is when we would like to move beyond the courting phase, we resort to conventional prospects via marriage brokers and mutual acquaintances. Someone knows someone and you meet them at a cafe. And on the other end, when you come to marriage itself, there is an abundance in planning tools and packages online, but rarely a platform that allows the customers to integrate event management and coherently manage all of them under one umbrella. Next, please. So what we are proposing today with Marriage Story, you will be able to pick out the individual of similar intentions of getting married as per your personal requirements and priorities. Additionally, it offers complimentary personalized assistance in matchmaking, dating coaches to enhance your appeal, and all the way to putting you onto the stage where you shall exchange vows. From end to end, we will help you establish connections in order for you to write your own marriage story. Next, please. The opportunity that we are looking here today is huge, with approximately 1.5 million matchmaking and dating service users in Malaysia, and a market size worth of 90.47 million ringgit. With 203,000 weddings taking place every year in Malaysia, our initial target is to capture at least 5% within the next 5 years of operation. If this was to go operational starting from tentatively next year. And as you can see, the average marriage-related expenses in Malaysia as of 2021 pre-COVID level is about 125,000 ringgit. Next, please. So I've divided the revenue streams based on the services that we would like to provide. We begin with free enrollment registration. Pre-screening is also included so that we can customize the preferences, set target, ambition, goals for the registrars. We will also charge additional fee for access to relationship managers and dating coaches, and a 10% commission on any transactions between our clients and vendors, either at the dating phase or even at the marriage planning phase. Next, please. So as you can see, conceptually, there are 3 stages to any marriage, right? You start with an initiation, and then you match, and then you build a relationship, and then finally you start planning for your wedding. So the idea here is that there should be very little to no barrier to entry, and you also get complimentary profile session where you set your goals and ambitions. But once you have matched with your partner, it requires you to pay a slight amount of fee for you to access those details so that you can maintain that level of confidentiality, but also for you to access those coaching services. We also charge 100 ringgit per session, 10% commission for vendors on dating transactions. So for example, if you want to set up your own dating idea and there's someone who is willing to set up a picnic sort of theme, a garden in KL, and we would be able to match both of these people in our platform, and we would have a 10% commission on that transaction. And similarly, when it comes to the wedding planning stage, all of our vendors registered under the platform will also be placed with a 10% commission fee as well. We also provide wedding advisory and planning services for a minimum of 1,000 ringgit per wedding. Next, please. So this is a simplified flowchart of how we match individuals into a couple, and eventually at the planning stage of marriage, we match the vendors and the couples together. So it's essentially a matching platform, right? Next, please. So on both of these phases, I'd just like to reiterate the services that we'll be providing: pre-screening, consultation, coaching, and screening support. But on the other side, when it comes to wedding advisory, venue logistics, invitation, design, printing, food and beverage, conceptualization, costumes, and styling. So you have the opportunity to tailor this once-in-a-lifetime ceremony of yours by uniquely contacting vendors who would also be who would also want access to a large pool of customers, which you would otherwise be missing out on if you were just running a retail store in a high street, let's say. Yeah. Next, please. So in terms of competition landscape, I am able to understand that in India, the matrimony idea is very huge. But when we look at Malaysia, because we have to understand that matrimony is something that is very personal, very contextual, and you have to tailor it to the location, right? And within Malaysia, you have an array of dating apps, and you do have on the right-hand side, Jompa, Dateworks, Lunch Actually, who do matchmaking as well, but it's never to the extent of matching individuals for the purpose of getting married. It's usually meeting people, and then they decide to take it wherever they want. And on the other side as well, you have a lot of wedding planners and event management companies who give you packages, but rarely a website in which you're able to select from an array of vendors for a particular aspect of the marriage that you'd like to procure them for. And in this case, we do have a unique point here. Next, please. So in summary, I just like to reiterate on the pain points and how we resolve this using marriagestory.com as well. Is that we have an online matchmaking platform with personalized assistants and coaches, and also interconnected vendor platform. Next, please. So at this juncture, let me remind you of the predicament of the 28-year-old Malaysian that I mentioned earlier. With marriagestory.com, you will find opportunities to meet Malaysians from many walks of life who share the dream of getting married as well. And this 28-year-old Malaysian will have constant guidance from not just friends and family, but industry professionals to coach you to understand the society and your partner even better. And this could lead to realistic goal setting, effective communication, and fulfilling relationships. And finally, the 28-year-old Malaysian can customize the dating and wedding phases based on her own preferences by simply clicking and checking out. In short, we will simplify all of the background work for you so that you can concentrate on the relationship itself. Panel, with great pleasure, I would like to present to you Marriage Story, where the match of your life might be a click away. Thank you.
Thank you, Raja.
Thank you, Raja, for that presentation. It was certainly informative. Some unconventional questions for you, so bear with me.
Sure.
How old are you, Raja?
Sorry?
How old are you?
25.
Okay. Are you looking to get married yourself?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Would you use this platform if you created it?
Definitely.
Okay, as opposed to the aunties and uncles making introductions.
Can I ask you, why is that a question?
Because in real world scenarios, right, do you really use this platform with all the other alternatives out there? And let's just say you're looking for someone to settle down with. Putting aside tradition, all that sort of things, which obviously plays a big part, especially in our demographic. Would someone really use this platform? And who would use this platform? It's a very small market, a very small niche. Like, it's a very defined age group that would probably use this.
Right.
So scale and volume will be an issue. So that's why I'm asking you whether you would use it and who do you see using it, and as opposed to the other alternatives. There's so many out there, not just platforms, but people.
Right, yeah, so we go back to primarily people again, right? Are you married, Ashwin?
Yes.
And how did you meet your partner?
Relationships, meaning effective introductions and me dating. But yeah.
Right. So in case that didn't happen and you got older and older.
Yeah.
So I mean, with regards to a relationship, right? It's a very preferential thing. I'm not asking everyone who have the idea to enroll into this platform, but people who have sort of exhausted the dating apps out there, but also can't find someone with the intention of getting married. Now, you can always, when it comes to selecting a partner, right, you can always personalize it. You can always request for a particular person. I mean, regardless of, I'm not saying you don't have to have any ethnic or even religious preferences. You can definitely have them because it's your partner, right? So you can customize who you'd want to be for the rest of your life. And that's completely up to you.
So I think you effectively answered your own question, my question here, where it comes back to the point. Will you get scale and volume for the platform if you created it? You really have to think about it, because like I said, not everyone has to use this. If you don't get a big percentage of the population in that age group using it,
right,
you have break-even issues,
sure,
or even profitability issues. So coming on to my next question is financially, any sort of estimates in mind?
Yeah. So no clue, bro.
Understood. I think there's lots to think about in terms of execution here, but presentation-wise, it was a good presentation. No further questions for me.
All right. So thank you, Raja. Quick one. You might repeat customers might be a little bit of a problem here.
Yeah.
So just a quick one. I'll try and address the other side of it, right? I think Ashwin has spoken, on the matchmaking side and so on. So in terms of the event part of it, obviously that's a long journey from where you start with introducing people and then deciding to get married, and then you go on to the event and wedding planning and so on and so forth, right? Now, and this is something that I've come across with a similar app before, which is, I mean, it's two separate things, but at the same time, what I've come up with previously is that keeping control of the vendors that you're going to have. Say, for example, you're going to aggregate vendors who can help with the wedding planning, right? That's the and also maybe wedding planners, right? What if they go off your application, right? What is why would they stick on to, once the introduction is made, why do they need to stick on to your application in order to do the transaction?
Yeah, essentially because think of it as any of your food and beverage companies as well, right? You have an online platform where you have an existing pool of customers, which you would otherwise not have access to if you weren't enrolled into that platform. So if you were to take it offline, then you would lose potentially new customers.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. So this is something that, you know, you see as a challenge on platforms like this, where the business could go offline, especially if you have especially if you have like a wedding planner and they have their own set of people who operate and possibly could get you certain prices. So I think that would be, on the other side, I see that as a challenge as well. But the first challenge I do see is in terms of the numbers in the business and how it could scale.
Enrollment. Yeah, got it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashwin. Thank you, Tata.
Raja, how do you intend to reach out to your target audience?
So that's where the branding and the marketing comes in, essentially, right? It has to go on as an online marketing campaign at the start. That's how I see it. But usually testimonies, good word of mouth. I think that's where you build a solid customer base. And when it comes to, I think, wedding matrimony websites, it's very sticky. So once you have a success story, it becomes like a snowballing effect. I feel that you start encouraging people to get enrolled more, because now you know that it's not just another website, but in fact there's work. Yeah. But again, to answer the question, online marketing to start off with.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that.
Sure.
Thank you for the presentation, Raja.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next, we have Ramanathan Ganesh. When you're ready, do share your screen.
Hello. Hi. Hi.
Yes,
just a second. I will. Yeah. Just a second. I will share my screen.
Sure.
Okay. Hi to all. The project name is Motor Stamping Manufacturing. So I'm gonna start with a short shelf intro. Basically, my qualification is I'm a BE graduate in mechanical engineering, and I'm doing MBA in entrepreneurship. I'm sorry. I'm just nervous and just losing. Okay. Just bear with me for 2 minutes and I will be normal, I guess. Okay. Basically, I have 3 years of experience as a manager in this field of motor stamping manufacturing. And okay, let's get into the product. The product name is motor stamping. So the technical name of this product is called stator and rotor. These parts are the most important parts for manufacturing any pumps and motor which are being made throughout the world. So this product has a huge market, and this product is highly suitable for mass production. So the application of this product is it's used in different types of pumps. For example, it's used in self-draining pumps, open well pumps, and different types such as borewell pumps and monoblock pumps. For different types of pumps, we need to supply different types of stamping. The names are A3 stamping for making self-draining pumps and 1080 stamping for making borewell and so on. So by different types of stamping, what I'm meaning is the shape and size of the stamping will be different. Okay, some stamping will have smaller diameter and some will have bigger diameter likewise. So I am planning to start this manufacturing company in Coimbatore, which is in Tamil Nadu, India. Why in Coimbatore? I feel that Coimbatore is an ideal location for starting this company because it offers labors at a lower cost, and there are so many BE colleges and arts colleges. So we can get highly qualified and educated employees for our company at a low price, and also Coimbatore has well connected roadways and railways, so we can ship our product throughout India at a lower rate. And one more thing is that we can get raw materials for manufacturing this product as a cheap rate too, because there are so many suppliers for this product. Okay, then next one is target market. In Coimbatore alone, there are
உங்களுக்கு கீழ வந்து உங்களுக்கு எங்கேயுமே வரல மேடம். நீங்க பேர் மட்டும் தான் போடுறீங்க கீழ. மேல மட்டும் தான் தமிழ்நாட்டுன்னு
someone is speaking.
தமிழ்நாடுன்னு மாத்தணும். அவ்வளவுதான். தமிழ்நாடு நிதியமைச்சர். தமிழ்நாடு.
Sorry.
Okay. Shall I start?
Yep. I think yeah, you continue from here.
Okay. In Coimbatore alone, there are more than 800 manufacturing companies, including all the small, medium, and big ones. Okay, and these companies altogether, they supply for nearly half of the country's requirement of pumps. And in a typical day, they make about 45,000 units of pumps every day is being manufactured in Coimbatore alone. And also the pumps which are being made in Coimbatore are being exported to 100+ countries. So there's a huge market for this product. The market opportunity, as I said, there is a high demand and there is a less competition, because as of now there are only a few people who are doing this stamping business compared to the number of people doing manufacturing pumps. So, and the next one is this product has a huge customer base, and this product also is scalable. I'm going to talk about the scalability part at the last slide. So I'm going to move to the next slide, company overview. So to start this product, we need 10 cents of land and factory shed, and we need a foreign manpower. We need 1 foreman, 7 operators, and 6 helpers and a driver. And for the power supply, we need at least 50 HP of 3-phase line is needed. And next requirement is machines. So it's a manufacturing company, so it's obvious that we need a lot of machines. So the basic requirement to start this business is we need 2 40-ton machine and a 30-ton machine, and 4 10-ton machine and a sheet cutting machine. And also we need tools and dies for making different types of stamping. As I said, there are different types of stamping such as ALC, 1080. For making those stamping, we need different types of tools. Okay, so those are recommends. So to purchase these machines and tools, we need a funding of we need a capital fund of about $32,000. And to purchase raw materials, we need a fund of $53,000 as a working capital. So altogether, we need a fund of $85,000 is needed. So with this fund, we can set up a company with a processing capacity of 50 ton of raw materials per month can be processed, and from that 50 ton, we can get 25 ton of final product, and the rest balance will be scrap. So the sales plan for this product is simple. It's a business to business model. So the cost of marketing and sales is low here. So in the beginning stage, we only need to supply for 5 to 10 small and medium scale companies to achieve our target and our turnover. So the selling price of this product will be 1.41 USD dollars plus 18% of tax. Okay. The sales was, as you can see, the sales turnover and the net profit is increasing every year. This can be achieved by reinvesting the profit from the previous year for buying machines and raw materials. We can achieve this sales turnover and turnover, and I'm sorry, the profit, net profit. And the next is future growth plans and scalability. As I said, this product is highly scalable product. So by purchasing a fully automatic machine, we can increase the manufacturing production of this product by at least 10 times. And also we can venture into different sectors such as grinder manufacturers, fan manufacturers, and commercial motor manufacturers, because these manufacturers require stamping, but the stamping shape and size will be different. As I said, there are so many types of stamping. So by just making a new die, we can start to supply for these manufacturers too. Conclusion: it's a safe business model because we are going to invest most of the funds for purchasing machines and raw materials, and the cost of marketing sales is low. So also we are making a product which is being used by most of the people around the world, and the product is being used every day for different purposes, because there is no houses in throughout the world without using pump. It's a basic requirement. So we are supplying a part for those basic products. And for the next 10 years, it's being estimated that the demand for this product will increase. So I think that it's a safe product to invest. So that's it. And thank you for your time. And thanks.
Okay, thank you, Ramanathan. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, Ramanathan.
Yeah.
A couple quick questions from me. What you're trying to do is nothing new under the sun. Correct me if I'm wrong. So
yeah.
Ample demand for this type of product, meaning made to order, high volume type.
Yes, sir.
Effectively, cogs that go into a bigger machine, for example. How do you propose to compete with the existing players out there that are able to do huge volumes, and with those huge volumes have much lower cost bases?
Okay, in the past 3 years, I have managed to I have contact with suppliers who are selling raw materials. So I have already established a friendship like thing. So they are willing to supply me raw materials for a price which is lower than the market price. And also I have some ideas for reusing the scrap materials from different industries. So what I'm trying to say is that there are two ways. One is that we can purchase materials at a low cost from suppliers, and the next one is that we can use scrap materials for making this product as well. So by doing these two methods, by following these two methods, we can manufacture the product at a low rate, and we can sell the product at a lower rate than the market rate. So that's the idea.
If you don't mind me asking, how were you able to effectively pre-negotiate lower prices for your raw materials?
Yeah, by giving them payment on time, and by purchasing the raw material with cash. That's how. Because usually and they will supply on credit basis. So if I have the fund for purchasing the raw materials and with cash they will offer discount. So that's how.
Okay. All right. That may not be a viable business model long run because cash flow is very important, especially for someone who is trying to do this. You may be able to pay upfront on occasion, but otherwise, financing is very expensive today. So if you pay upfront, you need financing from a bank. Bank interest rates, as you know, is going up in this current environment. So you probably have to look into the numbers in a lot of detail. But otherwise, there is a clear demand for this type of product. It's just whether you can supply it effectively at the right prices. That's it for me. Thanks, Ramadan.
Also, I say that we can use scrap material. So it's a plus point for this company because for making this product, if for example, let's say that I need to buy a sheet for 80 rupees. But if I buy a scrap material, the cost of scrap material will be only 50 or 60 rupees. So I can save some money in that. So that's a way of doing it. I cannot say everything in an open forum. So that's why.
Okay, thank you.
Right. So Ramanathan, on this, in terms of the margin, especially when selling at a lower price, the margins are fairly thin, yeah. So it would be a certain amount of volume.
10 to 15% of margin.
10 to 15% is your margin. So keeping in mind the payment upfront and the interest rate, your margin will be significantly reduced by that. So this will have to be a volume game, right? So in terms of setting up your own plant and the volume that you can produce in that plant with the money that you've asked for, and how much of that capacity you will be able to consistently utilize. Right. So I just wanted some thoughts on that in terms of your setting up your own unit.
I say that with the capital we can set up a manufacturing unit with a processing capacity of 50 tons, and in that we can make a product of 25 tons of final product. Is that what you asked?
Yeah, so my question was more with regard to if the price advantage doesn't remain for a long time, then your capacity utilization, because it is a fairly capital intensive industry that you're in, right? So your capacity utilization will have to be at the highest in order to maintain your margins. So what's the your ability to can get consistent orders will also be important, right? So what's the plan going forward on that, considering there are already so many people doing this?
So as I said, there are only few people who are doing stamping business, so the competition of this product is less, and also I'm planning to use lean manufacturing, which means that I'm gonna buy the material only when I need, and I will try to process the material as soon as possible, and I will send the final product out. So by doing so, I can control the working capital which is required to have this company running. So that's the thing.
Okay.
And also, from the past 3 years, I have so many contacts with manufacturers who are willing to buy from me. So there won't be any situation where the final product will be in inventory. Actually, I'm expecting that the demand for my existing customer is more than what I can supply.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
No questions from me. All good.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Ganesh, for the presentation. With that, we conclude all 8 presentations for today. Thank you, everybody. Thanks to all the presenters. So, Cynthia, what we'll be doing next?
Okay, so what's gonna happen is that I think all of you can take a group photo if you want, Hannah, and then we can call it off and we can call it a day. The judges will work on the scores and we will pass it to the organizers. Then the organizer will tabulate it.
Yep. So let's have a group photo first, and then we'll be done for the day, and then we will get back to the top 3 presenters that who managed to go to the next round. Yeah, we will reach out to you guys individually, and for those who are not, we'll just give you a brief as well. Right? Okay. Sure. Anybody? Please on your camera, your video, and Cynthia, we can take a photo. Yeah.
I'll stop the recording first. Recording stop.
Yeah.